Pro tip, if you spend all of your time answering other people's questions, you can forget how to ask your own questions. You forget where you put your questions. So, with the best intentions, I have a fucking question today. I have a question this time. I have a question. um Back when I was growing up and the family would be having, like, the household would be having an important discussion, and I'd just be all little and pure and, like, seemingly unserious, and I would have a fucking question, I would raise my hand. Do you know what it is like to have a pissed off parent who is announcing something, having a speech, whatever, monologue to the house, just to have my little bitch ass be like, I have a question. And, like, I remember their faces where it would be like they would be kind of like, bitch, what the fuck? But then at the same time, it's like, well, she's raising her hand, so she's trying to be respectful. And anyway, what was my question? Okay. So the cards are telling me what my question. Oh, how fun. Okay, so these cards are representing the question. 9 of Cups, 4 of Swords, Page of Coins. Somebody keeps asking you the same question. So somebody keeps asking you something, and your answer is no. They exhibit the qualities that you're looking for, but something had happened in the past where the yes is no longer desirable. So the answer is no. But even though the answer is no, they are still investing in you. And for that reason, you're kind of in, like, this dilemma. You're not necessarily choosing between you or them. It's giving how can both exist, like coexistence in a sense, but without being very tedious about it, without knocking them down, without crushing their dreams, knowing and trusting that sometimes we change our minds and other things can happen that can change the results and events of the future. Respecting that with your no, but still holding the boundary of your no. And so, in a sense, it's kind of like a table tennis game, a game of table tennis, for whatever fucking reason. That's the example. And it's not a rough match. It's not a slow match. It's actually quite a consistent match. Okay. There's a difference between playing with someone in the sense of kind of like leading them on and being transparent and honest and upholding boundaries, and just completely shutting someone down. Which is the advice that is usually given, especially romantically and especially to girls, is make sure you shut it down. The little tiniest bit that your intuition goes, they might be attracted to you more than just human, like whatever. They just shut it completely down. And that's when insults reign in. And that is what we're trying to avoid, because one, sometimes we are guided to believe the wrong thing on purpose from divine guidance so that we can understand the in-betweens. The in-between here is that you are speaking your truth and making it clear what it is you feel currently without, like, there's a fence. It's a beautiful fence, 338. It's not a barbed wire fence. You're learning a better way to confront and face energies that make you viscerally uncomfortable. And here we're kind of removing judgment from self in the sense of what is good, what is bad. For example, two friends, one likes the other, one is making it clear that they're not interested. As long as the boundaries are respected and upheld, there is no problem. There is no reason to rain down judgment on either individual. Now, though, if boundaries are getting crossed, the thorns in the bushes might get them, but that'll be enough. That'll be enough, because we don't need to threaten or enforce, or like, maybe enforce isn't the right word. That might trigger a lot of people, because if you're not enforcing, you're enabling, right? So, Jesus Christ. This is so mixed in here. This is such a mixed little... we got a really good stew brewing over here. An herbal concoction, if you will. Oh. These cards were face up. The Fool, the Devil, the Hanged Man, the Moon, and the Ten of Coins. Ugh. Connecting to your foundation, your beliefs, your roots, that can look very different to different people, but using that as a balancing point. Balancing the scales of the emotions and of the traditions to create your own thing and be as respectful as possible. Especially if entering other homes, other places with their own unique beliefs. Because, like, if you went into the church, you would be like, oh yeah, these people all have the same beliefs. But then you go into their individual homes and it's different. Everyone has their own little interpretation and whatever. Normally, individual, like the individual, like being able to stand on yourself, by yourself, on yourself, yeah, stand on your own shoulders, that is a sign of confidence, of courage, of bravery, while packing is kind of an indicator of fear. And so the balance there between the scales would be between yourself and the larger group, the larger collective, of balancing what is right and wrong for you personally, and expressing that in a way that would welcome others just like you, and at the same time doesn't disrespect those that came before you. And in doing so, you will not react to perceived disrespect the same or as much, because it will help you realize when you come into this place of balance that it's never truly people's intention to harm you. And that sometimes when we talk about hurt people, I always felt like there was something icky with that for like maybe a year or so now. There's always something that I'm like, like this is very popular, this is very true, but the garden card. This is very true, but there's just something about it. There's just something about it. And the something about it is that sometimes it can be used to bypass or continue cycles of separation, of abuse and neglect of people's true emotions and feelings. Just because you think somebody is incorrect, just because you think somebody is doing harm, just because you don't understand somebody doesn't give you the right to try to control and manipulate their life. You can have your opinions and judgments. Lily. Just like how, oh my god. Somebody was just talking about this too. But just like how poisonous plants can have medicinal properties, I split the deck to the 5 of Swords. People fight over these kinds of things. People fight over what is poison, what is not, what is healthy, what is not, what is Jesus-like, what is not. And in doing so, they're attacking their own people. And so this is happening in a lot of different communities at this time. Some people are just kind of stepping back and rising above so that when the tides settle, they can kind of come in that leadership role, because 8 of Swords, different things are going to trigger different people. Different energies are more challenging for different people. And in this way, everybody gets to be the leader because of the rotation, the cycle of life, of seasons, of things, of energies. But it doesn't have to be in such a dark lens. Even if people make mistakes, even if, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, you can learn through punishment, but it doesn't have to be that way. And just as if you don't want to be punished for or crucified for every single mistake that you make, you should find that middle ground for yourself to not allow yourself to overgive or get run over. Letter and clouds. That is interesting. Please pay attention to the clouds. Please pay attention to the clouds. I don't know if there's going to be a letter in the clouds. That feels really specific for maybe like 1 or 2 people. But paying attention to letters as well, because there is a spiritual ability where certain letters, words, numbers will stand out to you. That is a divine communication. 1221. Closing card, returning home to yourself, returning to your home, visiting your home, bringing positive, magical, miracle energy into your home just by being yourself, just by existing, just by resting. Just by caring, just by taking the time to care about yourself. You can combat the feeling of not being cared for by caring for yourself. It may get difficult, but there are different ways to create that safe space, to stay within that alignment of personal peace. Elder, wisdom, major transformation and releases. You are beyond, congratulations. This is not where I thought this reading was going. Okay, well, congratulations, because you are beyond like that people, oh this, oh that, just the factual, logical, like that kind of thing. You're above it now. You see above it. You see through it. Please pay attention to your dreams. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. Ask yourself the questions that you have. There's a balance between putting all of your faith in the divine and putting faith within yourself and using divine guidance, divine interactions, coincidences, patterns, whatever, to your advantage. That doesn't mean that you are taking advantage. It means you are collaborating with the patterns of your environment, of life, whatever. And that's where people will be like, oh, well, if you don't like it, break it, whatever. But sometimes you break it just to figure out where you fit in, or to create a place for you to fit in. Well, this is a lot of information. Strength. You are strong. You are. And it's okay to get frustrated and upset and have a fit at times, of course. Because as you release that, the thunder that you create from your own little personal storm can create that amplified effect. Death and community, cathartic transformations, forever evolving. There's literally a butterfly. I wanted to say butterfly effect, but I feel like that's so used. The worm effect? Nah, just kidding. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I think that's good. This is a lot more than I intended to do. If you are interested in the cards and the pouch, please let me know. If not, no, I'm just kidding. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I love these bitches so much, and I made them myself with the help of my local printer and my best friends and my sister. Okay. Anyway, well, I guess that might imply that my sister isn't one of my best
Jazz fan, but that's okay. That's okay. 17, 17. Something's up. Heads up, 7 up.